lighting.
Hello and welcome to a very special City Voices Saturday Spirituality Group. We have our guest Napo, who is an indigenous person and shaman in the Filipino tradition. And without further ado, take it away, Napo!
Reminds me of a Johnny Carson action. So greetings, everyone. I'm not really used to the Zoom thing. Is there a bunch of people on now? Okay, good. And I'd love to share something with you. And will it can it show like all the people's faces or no?
I don't know. I think it's just one at a time, Napo. I think
no. He has to go down.
I'll try. I'll see what I can do.
But no, he can change his own view. So if you go into the top right-hand corner, you'll see a little box that says view.
Will you help me? A view.
And then hit gallery.
There's a little grid.
Like I'm down here. Oh, there it is. Hi, everybody. So I'd like to start this with an intention together. And the intention, a prayer, would be let it come out in a very communicative way, and for spirit to be the guiding force of it. So it'd be great if we could just take a moment here and really focus our concentration, our consciousness into that kind of an intention. So everybody, if you would just close your eyes, we're just going to take a deep breath in, taking a deep breath out. And in your way, whatever way for you personally that you have a connection to the thing that is creating everything, God, most of you will call it, you would just connect to this force. And we're just going to, in a mental way, just thank you. Thank you for this source and this force to lead this in the perfect tone, time, pace, vibration, and frequency. So be it. Good. So I'd like to start it with everyone doing this a particular activity, so that way we bring up our vibration, and the foundation is from that vibration, right? And the Babaylan shamanism is to connect with source, right? But you don't have to be a shaman or a priest or any of these kind of things to connect to source, because you cannot never be connected to it. You can forget that you're connected to it. And that's part of the gift from incarnating here. The gift is that it's sovereignty, complete sovereignty. You can do whatever you want here, right? And since you can do whatever you want here, it's easier to do if you're connected to that which is connected to everything, which you are connected to everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our hands like this, about half an inch apart, right? And I'm going to teach you this invocation. This invocation is essentially, it's a commandment with conviction, right? And whatever you feel with a vibration of conviction, then it has the potentiality to become realized. What this is for is so that way the paradigm of the room becomes one, right? And what we're going to do first is we're going to breathe in together 3 times and mirror breathe each other. This way we're connected as one, okay? And we're just going to do this here. So we're going to breathe in 3 times together. So breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good. Now keep your hands right here. And I'm going to teach you this invocation. When you say these words 3 times, a burst of energy that you will feel and be visceral will be between your hands. Okay? And I'm going to tell you what these words mean. So before we even do it, I'm going to tell you what they are and then what they mean. We're going to say, I invoke the light of the Christ within, which means, it doesn't mean Jesus Christ. It means the Christ within. The word Christ means anointed one, chosen by source or force. And I choose to be connected to this thing and be its representative, be its ambassador. Right? So when you say it, I invoke It means I command this to be so. So when you say it, mean it, right? I invoke the light of the Christ within, which means I invoke the power within me, the immortal spirit that can never be bought, begged, borrowed, nor stolen within me. I access this power within me, the real me, right? The immortal part of you. I invoke the light of the Christ within. And then you're going to say, I am a clear and perfect channel. All you're stating is right here, right now, I agree, and I am in conviction that I right now am a clear, perfect channel for this power from within me to be channeled, right? And then the last part is love and light is my guide. So when we say love and light, we're going to summon this love and light. We're going to access it that is all around you all the time, right? Right now, there's lots of love, lots of benevolence, lots of goodness, lots of kind acts, acts of valor happening right now in the world, right? So when you say love and light is my guide, you have to feel it. You have to just feel or be connected or just image kind acts, beautiful things happening, people kissing, babies laughing, all those things, right? Which is happening right now, which you have access to. So when we say these words, you're going to mean it. We're going to say this invocation 3 times, and a burst of energy is going to come out at the 3rd time we say it. Are you guys ready? Just go like this. Good. 1/2 inch apart. So first, we're going to breathe in, breathing in, and breathing out. And again, breathing in, breathing out. One more time, breathing in, breathing out. I really feel that connection to source or God, whatever you want to call it. We're going to say, I invoke the light of the Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love and light is my guide. That's 1. We're going to say it out loud now the 2nd time. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love and light is my guide. We'll say it one more time. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love and light is my guide. What you should feel coming out is a little bit of heat or a little bit of resistance, right? Like 2 magnets pushing each other. Can everybody feel that? Nod your head if you can feel it. Good. This is your bioetheric energy. Bio coming from you, ether, the state between matter and energy. And this naturally will flow, right? Whenever you hurt yourself, you're going to put your hand on the hurt, and it's immediately going to have this particular kind of energy to come onto it and start healing it on a spiritual level, which is really just a wave level, right? You're made from body and spirit, wave and particle, right? Particle being the body, wave being the spirit. And you're created first from wave. It's first energy, then becomes matter, right? So what we're going to do with this, we're going to consolidate it. We're going to make it into a ball. So we're going to say it again, but this time I want you to really feel the love, because the energy is going to come out anytime you say this 3 times. But the more powerful it is if you summon the love that is within you, that is you. That is the only thing there is. And then the distortions of sacred light that creates the balance of light and dark for us to experience this material realm in a way that can be experienced in a visceral way. So we're going to say it again, but this time I want you to really feel this love. This right now, the world is, mothers are loving their children. They're laughing, they're crying together. People are forgiving each other right now. And summon this, right? And so you should still be able to feel it. And we're going to do it 3 times and then 3 times again. I want you to really feel it. Really just connect to source or God, whatever you want to call it. You can call it Jesus, whatever you want to call it. As long as you have a connection to anything that you feel is higher than you, that is benevolent and maybe watching you or helping you. So let's do it again. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love and light is my guide. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love and light is my guide. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love and light is my guide. And one more set. I invoke the light of Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love and light is my guide. Go ahead and spread it out as far as you, about right here, and then come closer. Where is the edge? Where do you feel it start to get dense? Right, all right there, and we're gonna squeeze it in, intentionally squeeze it in, and you're gonna make it into a ball. And we're really gonna power this up. And the way we power this up is with emotions. Emotions are the guiding force of what causes your dominant vibrational reality to become into existence. Right? Life is an emotional thing, and we're not taught that because for some strange reason, we're in an existence here where all of reality is experienced through emotions, and yet there's no school for emotions. Isn't that odd? Right? So we're going to harness our emotions, and the greatest way to do this, to make any intention, is to be in a grateful mode. So hold your ball, close your eyes, and I'm going to guide you to a quick raising of the vibration to frequency of gratefulness, right? Closing your eyes, and I just want you to imagine a time in your life when you are grateful and you are happy at a level 2, gratefulness and happiness. Gratefulness and happiness at level 2, you just waking up out of bed and smelling your favorite breakfast cooking. Right? Can you remember that? You should feel that. Remember that moment. Feel it. And then raise it up. And I want you to really start to smile and trick your body, trick your biology into it. Raise it up to a level 4 gratefulness and happiness. Level 4 gratefulness and happiness. Anytime in your life when something ridiculous funny happened. Ridiculous funny. Anything that was hilarious. There we go. Really feel it. Really feel it. Good. And raise it up to a level 6 gratefulness and happiness. Level 6 gratefulness and happiness. Oh my God, I found some money in a pocket. Somebody hooked me up to a concert. Somebody gave me some shoes. Whatever it is, just a windfall, a luck, something like this. Good. Feel it. Feel it. Remember it. And let it flow through your spirit. Good. Raise it up to a level 6 gratefulness and happiness. Level 6 gratefulness and happiness. An act of kindness. Somebody gave you an act of kindness, or you witnessed an act of kindness. Maybe an act of kindness that somebody gave to you that you could never repay. Remember that feeling, an act of kindness. Raise it up to a level 8 gratefulness and happiness. Level 8 gratefulness and happiness is a perfect moment. Nothing could be happened. Nothing could be added. It is a perfect moment. In your life, there was a perfect moment. A visceral perfect moment. It's an acknowledgement of, wow, right here, right now, I am satisfied. I'm satisfied. I feel content. I feel fulfilled. Whatever it is, could be an accomplishment, could be something that you witnessed, and faith in humanity restored. Really feel it. Let it flow through your spirit. Let it be in your bones, in your veins, in your particles, in your atoms. Feel it in your DNA. Perfect moment. And then raise that up to a level 10 and just acknowledge and accept that source is within you, it's protecting you, it's guiding you, and you feel safe, you feel nurtured in it. Now that we're at this level, what we're going to do is we're going to say the light invocation one more time, 3 times, and we're going to really put this boost in it, because now you're feeling this, and then when we push the energy, or when the energy comes out, this feeling is going to come into it. So we're making an energy ball, a beeb, bioetheric energy ball. So we're going to say the light invocation again, but now we have these feelings, and it's going to be more powerful. Remember to feel the love when you say it. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love and light is my guide. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love and light is my guide. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love and light is my guide. Now, what you should feel is tingling or pushing against each other? Yes. Just nod your head if you can feel it. Good, good. So we're going to squeeze it in, make it more denser. And this isn't too far off from the reality, right? Does this exist? Nod your head if you think that this exists, right? And the reason it exists because you're having a visceral experience on it. Right? People who are not vibrating at this frequency will have a hard time to feel it because they're not at the density that it could be expressed or be even acknowledged to. What we're going to do is we're going to put a picture in it. We're going to program it. Essentially, what we're doing is we're going to make a programmable metaphysical prayer, right? So in this ball, I want you to just imagine yourself, first person, just your hand holding a blue feather. Just imagine in your mind holding a blue feather inside this ball, okay? So just imagine a ball of white light in between your hands. You can easily do that. You can feel it. And inside this ball, you're holding a blue feather. Now, I want you to really take some formation in this feather. Is it a tall feather? Is it a short blue feather? Is it light blue? Is it dark blue? Is it tattered? Is it pristine? Really look at it. Really look at it. Good. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put our hands on the bottom of this ball, just like the way I'm holding mine. Put your hands on the bottom. And on the count of 3, we're going to throw it up in the air. We're going to clap our hands to release this energy. And we're going to tell it, we're going to command it from your point of power. Seek your purpose. Godspeed. Are you ready? Nod your head if you're ready. Good. 1, 2, 3. Throw it up in the air. Clap your hands. Seek your purpose. Okay. Now, the purpose of this prayer essentially is to manifest or summon a blue feather into your life. And the purpose of this is we're summoning a blue feather because, one, you don't have blocks to blue feathers. Otherwise, we would just summon $1 million, right? No one has blocks to feathers. And the concentration and the energy that it took from the feeling of gratefulness and happiness is the correct foundation for a prayer or manifestation to be the operative potentiality for it to be expressed. Like most people, they pray from supplication. They pray like this. Oh, please, God, give me stuff. Oh, Lord, please give me stuff, right? It's very, oh, God is needy. It's desperate. It's, oh, please. But God is like you. You're not going to be attracted to that, right? Like if you were to flirt with somebody and be, oh, please give me a date. That person's going to be like, red flag, let me out of here, right? You have to be feeling good. And just like when you're flirting with somebody or you're trying to get something for somebody, it's better to be genuine, authentic, and loving and grateful. Oh, thank you so much. And they're going to be like, oh, I like this person. You know what I mean? And the energy of the universe is the same. It attracts whatever you are, right? So the purpose of manifesting this blue feather is you will see it in your reality in some way. Either it will be a physical blue feather that somehow that you manifested will come into your reality that you can hold. Or it might be a picture or a feather on somebody's hat, right? It's nicer if you actually manifest the feather, and it'll manifest however way it'll manifest within 3 days, 3 months, 3 weeks, but it will come because there was no block to it. And when you get this blue feather, what will happen is it will change, it'll shift your paradigm, right? A paradigm is nothing more than a set of a cone of perception, right? Everything in the cone of perception is real of your paradigm. Everything outside the cone of perception is not real, because if you cannot perceive it, it doesn't exist for you. So what's going to happen is you will perceive this blue feather to come into your experience that you call life. And when you have it in your hand, it'll be the beginning neural net. It'll be the beginning belief system, beginning of a foundation of a paradigm that says, yes, I live in the reality of cause and effect, that Newtonian physics is cause and effect. It's mechanistic, and I have no power within the world, and things happen at me, right? And then we go to the quantum model of reality where it's I cause effects from the foundation of my paradigm. I cause effects. And what it'll do is hopefully it'll begin the beginning process of I am free. I am free from victimhood. I am free from everything that has happened. I am free from the judgment of others. All these things will start to become cognizant, which really this whole thing is about expressing sovereignty, but you cannot express it without the worthiness and the understanding that this is your birthright, to be able to summon things, to be able to summon abundance, to be able to summon love, to be able to summon everything, right? The hate, the hurt, the pain, the guilt, all that stuff, mistakes that you didn't forgive yourself about. But since we're not focused on that, we should be summoning wholeness, balance, right? Not in a way that's, I'm more balanced than you, I'm more conscious than you, which is a lot of that is happening, but I feel like that's part of the natural progression of becoming sovereign, right? So we're going to do another one of these, but it's going to be for something that you actually would probably need. And most of what I found is that what most people need, as far as each session when I do it, is self-worth, self-love, self-acceptance. So we're going to do another energy ball for that before we leave, okay? And I'm open to questions now, and we can start that now if you want to. I can't hear anything.
Oh, it's all right. We're still muted. But
okay.
So Tiffany and Stan and Cecilia, this is your group now. I'm going to leave it up to the three of you, and I'm going to take a step back and watch it unfold, I guess.
Yes.
I'm going to take a quick step back as well.
Huh?
Why don't we start with Harvey? Because Harvey's got his hand up first. Then we'll hear from Kira.
Which one is Harvey?
Harvey is the guy with the galaxy around him.
Oh, okay. I immediately resonate.
Black hole.
Oh, perfect. Hi, Harvey.
Hi there, Napo. This was a wonderful, wonderful process that you sent us through, and you explained it so wonderfully. I don't know if you know this, but this weekend, an organization called IONS, the Institute of Noetic Sciences, is celebrating their 50th anniversary. And actually, I'm part of that also. So I've taken some time out from that to be with you today. But this was wonderful. So the Institute for Noetic Sciences is dedicated to an understanding and research to be done on whether consciousness is local or non-local. And of course, I prescribe to the non-local, but there's very little proof in science today that that is so. But as they do more and more research on it, it seems to be pointing to a much more quantum reality than a mechanistic reality of Newton and some of the other people who have formed our I guess you could call it Western way. Maybe not even Western. I think it's cultural.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering how that fits into your traditions and of course your traditions preceded this. So it's kind of going back to the ancient wisdom, if you will.
Right.
So I just want to hear some more about that, if you would.
So I think that, back then there's many shamans in every culture, right? Every culture has their medicine woman or medicine man. And I think that this thing is about the connection of this person connects to source or spirit. Generally, it's going to be in the ancient ways, woman, because life comes from women, right? And then slowly men took over, and then all of a sudden now it's that, right? My personal Babaylan shamanism in Filipino, it's usually a woman who's a medicine woman or a man who is also feminized, which sometimes I'm very feminine, right? I literally go out, wear dresses and things. So I'm two-spirit. This way I have the ability to be in a spectrum of divine feminine and divine masculine, to be able to use it to be able to do a session on somebody or pull out hurt or hate or pain or regret, these kind of things like this, to be in a frequency, which is what we did. We put ourselves in a frequency of gratefulness From the foundation of gratefulness, we did a prayer, a summoning, and then we'll see how long it takes for you to get that blue feather. But once you get it, it will signify a proof, right? It will not destroy, but it will reroute your neural net, your belief system, your paradigm to, well, something happened here, right? And here's the proof. I got it in my hand. All I did was picture it, right? All I did was summon it without any blocks, right? So, and then I think that this is one of the ways we can start to gauge and make a barometer of, does this really exist? This quantum model of reality. And the only way it can be explained, not through science, because science is limited, right? It is limited by the perception and belief systems of the collective, who are first indoctrinated kind of to, this is the way the world works. This is the way your reality works. Just believe us, right? And then if you believe him, which of course we're all created to believe whatever it is we've been told until we become an adult, and then we never question it, right? But this quantum model of reality, I think it is absolutely profoundly, this phenomena is observable at all times, right? Like even the energies that we were playing around with, this can't be too crazy, because you can feel somebody looking at you. You can feel a kiss about to happen before you touch someone. You can feel embarrassed for somebody acting like a fool, right? You can feel that for them even. So already there's a thing here that says, I'm already energy. I'm already feeling everything already. And then no one's talking about it. And now everybody's kind of like an internal reality, which we're all having an internal reality. And in fact, my guides tell me there's not this one world happening. It's your personal world, and you're vibrating at a frequency to be at the world that you are resonant with. So we're all having our own personal worlds, and it looks like we're having one world together, but really there's a potentiality stream where it's less than nanoseconds for being in different worlds constantly. And so this Babaylan part of it is to ask universe or God or the great whatever to be the founding perception, the founding paradigm, so that way you have more access to more of what is happening, or the potentiality of what could be happening, right? Does that answer your question? I hope that answers your question. But I feel like I would love to talk more about that with you, definitely. Because I am about things, and spirituality is not this, oh, you're so holy and all this kind of stuff, right? Which talk about it the way people think that way it's supposed to is, where you're special, you can talk to the universe. You're not special enough, you can't talk to God, or whatever it is, right? Like I just showed you that light in you. I didn't give you that power. You had that power, right? Right. Otherwise, you wouldn't. It must be in you. It must be some sort of greatness, magnificent power and light within you that could be able to summon that.
So I liked what you said about forgetting and remembering, because I think that's really the crux of the thing with our consciousness, that we forget where we come from, who we are, and then you bringing back what you did today helps us remember who we are. And that's the only difference. And I'm not better than you or not better than you. I'm just remembering or not remembering.
Yeah, remembering we're not remembering. I love it. Yes, absolutely. And I think this happens because if you remembered all your lives, it would taint the experience that you're having. You wouldn't get the feeling or the experience of a new slate, a new page, kind of a thing. So it's actually a blessing that you don't remember, because if you remembered everything, it wouldn't be a new game, right? Each incarnation, I like to call it a game, because this is God amusing itself, I guess, is the way I would think about it, kind of a thing, right? And experiencing it. What does it feel like to be a blade of grass? What is it like to be a bee? What's it like to be a human? What's it like to be a mean human? What's it like to be a kind human? What's it like to be whatever, right? I feel like it's a consciousness. We'll say God is or force or source is a diamond, right? And there's facets in a diamond, and each facet is an expression of life. And in this way, this God or source, giant diamond, can express itself and know itself to be everything. Because if we're just connected to source and being source, you cannot really experience the little minute details, the deliciousness of even of a broken heart or a wonderful day or any of these kind of things, without first having to individuate itself, right? And I was even told that, you can believe it or not, that literally there's only around, and put it in a linear term because there's not actual a physical thing here. There's only about 300,000 spirits here, and these 300,000 spirits have been individuated into many beings, right? So it's not one spirit going into one body. It's one spirit, bunch of bodies, and then one spirit, bunch of bodies, one spirit, bunch of bodies, right? And this way it can express itself, because it's too limiting to already have the belief system that it must be one thing goes in this one thing, and then I experience it, and that kind of thing. And that's a fine way to experience it, to understand it on a basic level, right? And then now we're starting to understand quantum mechanics, which is, it's just energy. It's just more stuff that we're starting to understand, right? Kind of like in the medieval days, we thought, well, cells don't exist. It must be the devil that's hurting you, right? And sometimes it is entities and energies like this, but generally, like in the medieval ages, they didn't know cells, right? Until we built the microscope, all of a sudden the collective cone of perception expands for humanity. Cells exist now. All right, now that we have this information, now we can have options and choices and ways to think about it, and ways to help people or even to hurt people, right? You can use information for anything. So I think that we're at the precipice of this understanding, and then the collective starts to understand it. And then this is why I believe that right now the world, it looks like it's going to shit, but it's not. If we were just waking up to the fact that maybe it doesn't have to be like this. Maybe we can grab the wheel of evolution instead of just wait for it to happen and see what happens. We can collectively grab the wheel and direct it where we want it to go. Everybody gets food. Everybody gets a nice place to live. These are simple things, right? There actually is no lack in the universe. If somebody doesn't have food, it's not because there's lack. It's because there's not enough people who care enough to bring the food to the person who's hungry. But we can literally fix everything in 3 months, is what I believe. So really, I feel like we get to sculpt humanity's upbringing. We get to rear it. We get to groom it to be whatever it is we want to, but it's hard to do if we're stuck in survival mode, which is what we've been in the past 500 years, is go to work, try to get food, exist, try to get money, and that's fine. All that stuff is part of the game. We do live in the coin of the realm, but also it's our responsibility to come together and plan it, right? Use our intentions, to use our power prayers, to plan this evolutionary shift and consciousness and different ways, right? I can't hear you. More questions. Oh. Can we have another question?
Jennifer in the chat posted that that's ego, and she also talked about the recycling. And I'd love to for you to expand on that, Jennifer. But first, Kira had her hand up. Kira?
Hi. Thank you. Really, I'm talking low like usual. Somebody's sleeping, and then tons of construction outside. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. Are you the one on the top right?
I don't know.
Oh,
Kira?
Your mouth.
I'll try to
Probably your top left, Napo.
Oh.
Can you see yourself on video?
I can see myself. Okay. I just hope that you can hear me okay.
I can hear you well, yeah.
Okay. No, I repeating that I really appreciate how you explained incredibly, complex concepts, and you explained it clearly. I think that's, I appreciate it. It's a big triumph. It's not easy to do that. I couldn't do that.
I've been 10 years,
what?
over 10 years. Well, I feel like I prayed for that, to be able to communicate clearly.
Yeah, so I guess, I appreciated a lot of things that you said. To start out, so I'm defensive to, given my life There's reasons, you know, I'm working on it. When you did the
Light
prayer,
and uh-huh.
right? So the first two invocations, is if that's what you called it,
Yeah.
I they resonated with me. And then the third one about love and light, I said, oh no, 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 no. So, and I wanted, because I don't know what you meant. So if you, for me, if you meant that to feel love and light coming to me, I think that is important for me to work on. If you meant for me to exist, you know, with love, that one I have a hard time with, because I and so maybe I'm misunderstanding you, but I feel like, you know, everything is natural, like to exist with, and maybe you were saying that, you know, to exist with love and hate and everything in between. So
Yeah.
that part, I think, like right, to try to, you know, try to exist in love, that doesn't resonate with me.
That's fine. It doesn't resonate with most. That is the major disease that humanity has, is self-love. Because we're not taught to be this. Because if we were all taught to be this, you couldn't be controlled. You couldn't be manipulated. You know what I mean? But the way it's constructed for now, everything is kind of rigged against us, and we're waking up out of it. But when we say the light invocation, it's more of a, it's not necessarily God, come give me light and all these things kind of like this from outwardly, but more of a summon it from within me. I am parcel of this universal force of everything, right? Not just only love, but we could choose. We have sovereignty here. We incarnate with sovereignty, so I choose this love. This is why we focus on that, right? And so really it's about the God within you, because it's going to sound strange, but in reality, to my point of view, we are all the gods here. We are the creator in the creation, collectively creation, collective creation, right? So we're the creators of our lives, of our traumas, of all these things that we've set up in my belief system. We set it up before we come down. These are the things I would like to experience. These are things that perhaps I can tick off the bucket list, we'll say, of ascension. And we come down here and experience these things, whether it's even to be hurt and pain, or to learn something, to be a helper, to be a person who isn't a helper, so that the other helpers can experience being helpers, right? That kind of stuff. So really it's about self-love. And
Okay.
before we leave here, I'm going to give you the light invocation. And if you were to just say it 10 minutes every day, it'll start to break that shield. You'll start to be in the foundation of it. And once you become in the foundation of it, the dominant vibrational frequency of this love and light, which is a hard thing to do, to forgive yourself, forgive those who hurt you. You do the light invocation, even 10 minutes, right into your heart chakra, right here. Your vibration will change. Your feelings will change. Things, since it will change, it will be more lighter, right? It will be less dense. We're going from construction of carbon bodies to crystal bodies, right? And so when you become basically just a different vibration, then the potentiality stream that's going to unfold naturally will be more of a benevolent thing. You'll start to see the people in the grocery stores, or, you know, old couples just pinching each other's booties, and people loving each other. Like literally, I went to the grocery store a couple days ago. This lady was singing some song, as I just followed her, pretending I was shopping for something, just to listen to her sing while she's shopping. You know, and I didn't never get that when I was younger, because my focus was, oh my God, the world is messed up and blah, 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 and all these kind of things. So all I saw was those things. So really the filter is, however you are, that's the world you see, even though everything exists all at once, right? I hope that answers your question. Does that answer your question?
A lot. It does a lot. So I just want to just clarify, just that, so you're talking more about self-love than, like, because I think if I like put pressure on myself to love others, I think like I end up feeling worse, you know, but you're talking more about like self-love, letting love in, that kind of thing, rather than like pressure to be, you know, a loving, love it. You know what I mean? Or just
Right.
what?
A martyr? Yeah, you don't have to be a martyr.
Right,
This
right,
else will correspond to the nature of your song, right?
right. Okay. No, I appreciate that. Right. That makes a lot of sense. And maybe I think for me I can it's more doable to sort of focus on or strive for moments rather than, just, like you said, like moments of, appreciating something in the grocery store or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. Does anybody else have another question? I don't know.
Tiffany's turn.
Yes. I have, you know what? I have too much to say. So
I can resonate with that.
yeah. Yeah. So what I want to just do is say that everything he said is what I was thinking. I just want to let you all know that. All right. That I know those things too. No, but no, I want to just thank you for that. And my main question though, I do have one.
Mhm.
What resonated for me was both, like just the idea of both, rather than, because what I find as I'm moving through is this either or this concept against that concept, but in a way that, like, maybe both kind of, like when we talk about Newtonian ideals and quantum ideals, like both just win, right? Is what I'm wondering. It's not just like, oh, now we're just doing away with that.
Right, yeah.
And then, but it's just when and how. So does that mean that like we like move through the process kind of just like more deliberately? Do you understand?
Absolutely. I think that, yes, absolutely. I smell what you're cooking. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I understand what you're saying. And I think what you're saying is, do we just let this go? No, we can't just let it go, because that's part of the thing, part of the growing process, right? And then when we're done with this understanding, then, okay, now I'm going to be in this paradigm now where it's like, okay, this is the way we used to think as human beings. Evolving now, we think like this. And then later on, this is going to change. Because the only thing that's going to change is, the only constant is going to be change, right? The universe doesn't sit still. It's always changing. So I'm not saying like everybody's going to let go of their religions and all these kind of things like this. These belief systems, they've helped us. In some ways, of course, they've harmed us, but
Yeah.
some that helped us a lot as far as the beginning days of savagery and these kind of things. If you think
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
you're not going to do as much whatever you think, right? But I understand what you're saying, and I think that it's, for me, it's an important part of the process of awakening your own sovereignty and knowing that it isn't this thing victimizing you, rewarding you, and if you do good, and punishing you if you do bad. This is a very childish way to think about source and creation and force. But since most people have been programmed this way, you speak to them in the way that they are programmed in, right? So generally, if I do a session on somebody, they're a Christian, hey, pray to Jesus, pray to whatever you have the most connection to vibrate in frequency and harmonize and resonance into whatever you think that loving thing is. It's Buddha, it's Krishna, Jehovah, whatever you think that thing is, we're going to call on that. Archangel Michael, right? These kind of things.
Yeah.
Which I've studied different kind of things, but Babaylan is more of ancestry. I call them my ancestors, crocodile hunters, literally the head hunters. And they give me understanding. And during a session of Babaylan shamanism, essentially just a healing of emotions and mental stuff and blocks and things like this, to be able to shift, give you literally a permission slip to say, I allow myself to heal. I allow myself to forgive. I allow, and sometimes it's hard to forgive others, but you can release. So anytime you're angry, You can, oh, you know what? I don't have to forgive you, but I can release this anger.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
We're not
Oh,
buddies.
right.
We're not
Exactly.
buddies, but
I want
you can sleep.
right. I want you to eat, just not at
Yeah,
my table. But
exactly.
Mm.
So now within that, I had something came up.
And what came up?
It doesn't matter. It'll get answered. But I like because it all comes together. So you're going with those ancestors who behaved viciously in a way, right? And where are they now? And what information? Because it's not about, because what I find so much is this need to now hate that behavior or hate those people or convict
Mhm.
or that sort of thing, where it's just like being in, like, are we just like, we're just not doing that. We're just not doing that. We're going into the forgiveness. I don't want to be like that. I don't think that was a good idea. However, what did you learn from your, and this is going into the meditative field, right? Right. Like,
Mhm.
and we're there with the ancestors who were crazy and biting each other's face off, or according to history or whatever, right? But what did they get from that? So I think we have to understand some things before we throw them away.
I think absolutely. It's not about throwing anything away at all.
Yeah.
It's about kind of just accepting everything as it is.
Yeah.
Whether or not you accept it or not, it still is, right? Even a broken heart or somebody hurt your feelings. As soon as we can accept it, then we
Mhm.
start to free ourselves, because as soon as you accept it, then you acknowledge it. That's why
Yeah.
it's very important. Shadow work, which I hope most of you understand what shadow work is. Essentially, it's just the accounting, taking an account of what is all the traumas I've experienced. What is the blame I have for people, for source, for God, the blame for God? Is there any of this inside my spirit? And can
Mhm.
I forgive it? Can I acknowledge it, one? And can I say, yes, I acknowledge this hurt or betrayal from my mother, from my father, from a person who hurt me? Can I truly acknowledge it and feel it really intensely, like we did the gratitude intention? And I feel it
Mhm.
intensely. And then acknowledge, hey, I give this to you now, source, force, God, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Jah, Jehovah. I give this to you, right? And in this way, we want to lighten our burden that mostly isn't even yours to bear, right?
Mhm.
And you become a little bit better. And then you find another thing. Oh, this, I remember this hurt. I remember I hurt humanity in this way. I forgive
Yeah.
myself for this and I acknowledge
Yeah.
it. Give it to Rasta, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Jah, Jehovah, whatever you
Mhm.
want to call it, that
Mhm.
infinite. That animates everything.
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of the acceptance of it, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
I hope that answers.
Somebody's in somebody's in therapy because of me as well. Okay.
Right.
So
I think we're both saints. We're saints and
yeah. All right,
we're harm.
Dan.
Yeah.
Dan has a question.
Okay.
Oh, thank you very much, Tiffany. Hello, Napo. Napo, is it okay if humanity forces its own extinction? And if it does, like, what happens next to us?
Forced own extinction. I think generally it's going to be happening anyway, right? Like when you say extinction, do you mean humanity as it is, or do you mean humanity outgrows the way it's being human?
I mean, one example is like we destroy the planet and the planet destroys us. All our bodies are annihilated. All our human bodies. No more human bodies, Napo.
Okay, and to answer your question, I think in this kind of a way, and I've been told by my people who are spirits, right, that everything is protected, everything is created on purpose in the nature of reality. It's been created on purpose by levels of consciousness that is higher than what we can conceive, because we have a filter of so many consciousnesses, so many abilities to perceive things, right? Like even right now, we're taught that we have five senses, but there's two other senses that are completely observable phenomena, right? The senses of balance right? The sense of temperature. And yet these are never talked about. Only 5 senses you got, right? So as soon as you focus only on 5, that's all you got, right? So I think that this thing creating planets, helping create the plants, the atmosphere, all these things are created on purpose. And there's protection for that. So they're not going to allow a species to destroy a planet, right? Better for the species to die out and the planet exists, and then they put in more new species to evolve again. And we're not the only species here in my perception and understanding and intel and information that I receive from people who have a higher perception than I have, right? It's gonna sound crazy. There was a flood here, right? There was a deluge. And a lot of histories talk about it. And some of us during this deluge stayed on the top surface. Some of us went down. The people who stayed down, a little more conscious than us because they didn't have to keep rising and falling with civilizations from the top. Their timeline just keeps going up because there's no weather affecting it. They create their weather in there. Right? So to answer your question, you're going to be in the world, like I said before, as far as the way I believe things and understand things is, even if it does destroy itself, there's another potential reality where it didn't. There's another potential reality where everything's happening all at once. And it's hard to explain temporal mechanics, which is science of time, in a linear way, because you can only experience it and then you can know it, right? You can't speak it into existence because people are operating off the consciousness that they have. Everybody's doing the best they can with the awareness that they have, right? Whether it's forgiveness, whether it's how to make a lasagna, all of it, right? So I feel like we shouldn't worry about what might happen, right? Because what might happen is happening, but just not in the reality that you're experiencing now. So we're safe here now, right? But if we focus on it, then we resonate towards more of a reality that is going to happen in the experience that you're experiencing in this particular incarnation as you. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Napo. It's definitely something to think about and to process with all the heart and soul possible. Now, I notice Angela Serio has something to say. So, Angela, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I found my blue feather.
Perfect.
It's actually the cover of a book by Richard Bach, and he does a similar thing with a blue feather in the book. It's called Illusions, The Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah. And it's a novel, but it's by the author Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And I also wanted to say, I studied with a shaman for a while down in Kentucky. And one of the things that he taught me was channeling that globe energy between your hands. So I'm impressed. Thank you.
Be impressed with yourself, really, is what it is. Not to impress you, it's to impress upon you that you're the ones creating reality here, right? And as soon as you really fully kind of understand that, then all of a sudden all the blame starts to, hey, it's your fault. You know what I mean? As soon as it's that, then you have all the power to change your fault. Yeah. Anybody else have any other questions? Oh, say some.
I thank you for helping us because, like I've heard before, and this is not us against, there is issue in my mind, but I want you to know, there's an issue in my mind because there's like, you go to church, because I go to a more awakened church, and it's like, you got to feel good when you're manifesting, right? And it's like, dude, what if I feel like crap, right?
Well, then
what if I'm trying to, but what I have to do is thank you for like giving us the formula to generate that feeling, so it's not so esoteric now. Because I don't like the pastor of my church because he's always like, feel good. It's like so toxic to me, right? But for me, it's like, no, dude, like I got depression, dude. Like I'm depressed and I do not feel good, but that should not make me any further away from manifestation than another. But then also to have that ability to generate. So thank you for showing us how to get to that place right there. You know, maybe, yeah, thank you for that.
Welcome. You know, I make a spiritual armor meditation. There's proactive spiritual armor meditations that basically biohack the chemicals in your brain of dopamine and these kind of things. If you guys want to leave me, I gave one to Dan. Did you do that, Dan? That the meditation, and it's essentially to harness and start to discipline your calmness, and then you can summon it whenever you want. You know, as long as you can become the observing observer of what this biological, I like to call it a spaceship, is experiencing. You become the observing observer, you lift yourself up and go, wait a minute, why is this thing, this physical thing, feeling sad or angry or disenchanted in some sort of way? And when you come up from this level of being the higher intelligence of this body, right, then you can start to shift, oh, let me just direct this doll into everything's fine right here, right now. Let's go back to foundation of peace. From
but
there,
sometimes there's a journey, right? Sometimes there's a journey. Sometimes there's a need to you said why, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes the why might take 3 weeks to answer. Sometimes the why might take 3 months to answer. And I kind of need that to be okay.
And it is okay, right? Because everybody's
yeah.
That's the thing. Everything's okay. Even when you're being sad, everything's okay.
Maybe I just left the church for the right reasons, and I'm trying to get you to make it okay for, you know, because like my church is so toxic positivity, right?
You don't need me, you know,
and,
you don't need to
yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
you don't
I
need
don't.
to make it okay. It's
Yeah.
you.
You
the
understand. Yeah, you understand. I need people to understand it might take 3 weeks. And I just, you know, so that's another thing. I'm moving through another process right now. So
You know,
yeah.
Interesting you say that, because when I talked to my guys, they were saying everybody's not going to be on the same page. And it's a good thing that everybody's not, because if all the flowers bloomed at once, there would be a barren spot. So everybody's at their different levels. Allow their flowers to go over way. But try not to have too much judgment on it, because as soon as you focus on them, you're taking away focus from you. You're taking power from you.
Yeah.
But acknowledge that you're not resonant with this being or whatever it is, and maybe question, why am I not resonant with it? And perhaps, does it even matter if I'm resonant with this being? I don't think so. What matters is, do I feel peace right here, right now? Can I make my decision from peace? Right?
Napo, how many minutes do you need for the closing exercise?
And maybe 3 or 5 minutes. Let's just do it now.
Perfect. Oh, well, hold on, because we close at 1 o'clock, Napo, and so we have a lot more questions. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I kind of, when I'm in this flow, because I did.
Oh, you want to do it now? You want to do it now? You feeling the flow now, Napo?
What I'm saying is, when I'm in the flow of doing anything, really, I can't gauge really how much time has passed. So I thought that it was.
Don't worry,
do it
Napo.
now, Danny.
Yeah, I'm having a good time here, and I think that we are all on flow together.
Kira has a question.
Well, hold on. Before Kira has a question, Julie had her hand raised.
Oh, Julie.
Julia, unmute yourself, Julie.
Greetings.
Hi, Napo.
Greetings.
I appreciated the self-love exercise. I've been using an app, which is How You Feel app, which is showing your self-love and kindness first, and then giving it out to an acquaintance, giving it out to somebody you have a heart relationship with, giving it out to somebody you can easily give to. But, you know, you do this exercise with yourself first. And that's where I think it really comes from, you know, the self-importance of the self-love. And then you see it manifest in your world around you. And I appreciate the exercise, because it just shows me how much, you know, power it has in your life. and how much it just has changed me, and I hope Kira can see that too, because it works, Kira, you know. So thank you, Napo.
You're welcome.
Can we hear from Kira again?
Speak of the devil. No, so I guess being here at this meeting, something became sort of more clear in my mind. I don't know if, I'll think differently, but that maybe because I just have such a hard time with that value, like good, bad. I mean, there's destructive behavior and constructive behavior, but that maybe I'm sorry, the noise outside.
You're doing great. Just let it.
Okay, though that yeah, that I don't think I'll ever love the noise outside. That that maybe like I am, and maybe everybody or something are like energy in individual energy that is friction and cohesion, and that so is everybody else. So I like this, yeah, things that you were saying, so that I'm individually friction and cohesion, and then I exist among everything that is also friction and cohesion. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. I think that the way I was trained or thought about it is that everything is sacred light, and then there's distortions of sacred light, right? Distorted sacred light would be somebody goes around hurting people and they relish it and they feel good doing that, right? That's what they're here to do, right? We're not here to necessarily judge them, but there's not going to be, you can't be a warrior without something to be against, right? You can't be a plumber without broken pipes, and so it's part of that is accepting that these people exist and their reality is their reality. That's what they chose to experience here, grow from, and da 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 da. We don't know what they're here for, so better to always just focus in 80% of your energy and consciousness. What's happening here? How am I feeling about my reality at this present moment? 20% external reality. What are they thinking? What are they feeling? What are they doing over there? Do I resonate? Do I not resonate with them? 20% only, right? Because that's on them. What they think about you is not even your business. So come back to 80%. Always come back to 80%. Hey, what do I feel about this? What do I think about this delicious sandwich? Whatever it is, right? Enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. Try to really savor it, right? Even if I'm cleaning my ears, I tickle myself in there and be like, oh, that's delightful. You know what I mean? Savor everything is what I'm saying,
All right, at this point, I'd like to ask those who have chosen to remain silent to break their silence. Jennifer Ortiz, you've been here a long time. Your spirit, I see you nodding and really going with the flow. Do you have anything you would like to share?
I I love this. I'm getting so much from everything, not just from Napo, but from everyone. I think for me, it's important to just respect and understand everybody's energy, their output, and come to my own conclusions. And I agree with a lot of what Napo is saying, and my understanding of it is for me, not for anyone else, but for me, because I love myself and because I vibrate love within myself. I see that every day in a passing butterfly. Yesterday, I went to the botanical garden and I spent about 4 hours there, and I felt like I was in a different reality. And it felt amazing because I was one with the trees, and it rejuvenated me to see that that is free beauty. I don't need money necessarily to enjoy my life. I could just look up in the sky. So I'm rambling, but I just, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm learning more and more about spirituality. And I feel like my soul asked to be here today. Then when I got that text from you, normally, I'm busy. I'm a mom of four, so I have like so much going on, and I also work as a peer support specialist. So I'm really busy, but there's certain times that I feel drawn to things, and I was drawn to this meeting today, and I was running late. My kids decided to fight right before I was supposed to be on as a co-host, and I was on late, but I made it, and I'm just so grateful to be here and to have this experience with you guys. And I'm looking forward to everyone loving themselves in this world so that we can radiate that towards one another, and we can make a change for the better, where everyone shares and creates beauty and just loves one another.
Thank you, Jennifer. Now,
Also,
in the spirit of sharing, let's hear from other folks like Chaplain James, who's been unbelievably quiet.
You know why? Because I get it from the very beginning, the opening. It's like active participation. You have to do work to build the space, like between your hands and stuff like that, and then all the way through. I just understood it. He's speaking my lingo.
Thank you,
And
Chaplain James.
that's
Oh,
a good thing. That's a good thing, sir. No, Napo, that's a great thing. I agree.
kind of,
I would like to I'm gonna leave my info in the chat. We need to talk.
okay, perfect.
thank you, Chaplain James. How about you, Helen Newman?
Thank you. Sorry about lateness, but that's what I can do. And I still am very grateful that this meeting is on. And the few things that I did hear from the gentleman, that's the leader today, the moderator, it was right on the right topic, the right way of looking at things, gratitude especially. And I'm just wondering, the lady that just shared about being a peer group support, is that like an online, meaning like by telephone, that she can share this kind of her peer group online telephone number?
Jennifer, can you respond to that?
Yeah, no, so there is peer support that takes place online. But mine is in person. And just basically what we do is we provide peer support to people who are currently going through what we have been through at one point in time, and how we overcame that. It's sometimes there are peers that are volunteers, there are peers that are compensated financially, and I am compensated financially, but it's not why I do peer support. But we do have
You
to
need
pay
the
bills and
money.
stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I have to pay the bills in order to continue to survive and do what I do and put that energy out
So you're
there.
saying this is all in person, not by telephone?
So there's telephone peer support, and there is online virtual peer support. There's Zoom groups where you can do peer supports, whatever you want it to be,
So how can I
honestly.
find out from you those details? Because it only has to be what you just said, not in person, because I'm homebound.
All right, you
Yeah,
guys.
let's go ahead and
Why don't if you have
in the
access to the
chat.
chat,
Yeah.
then put it in the chat and exchange some emails, and you guys can take it from there.
Well, if it can be telephone, because emails I'm very bad at. I kind of freeze with emails, you know.
Then I'll
Jennifer,
send.
what's the best way for Helen to get in touch with you?
Oh, I love how you asked the question. Thank you for helping. Yes, Tiffany.
I'll share my phone number with you, Helen. I'm gonna private message you on here with my
Oh, no,
phone
no,
number.
no, 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 no.
Private
I don't do
message
private
me
message.
and I'll get it to Helen.
Yeah,
please.
I don't private message. I don't text. I just have a pen and paper. That's what I
Yes.
do.
So then
Send it
I
to you,
will.
Tiffany.
And then Helen, are you, so because you're the way you are, you have to say your phone number out loud so that we
Yes.
can reach you.
Oh, so sure. Oh, okay, okay, no
Okay.
problem.
So
Oh,
Helen,
unless you want me, wait. I can go to chat and have that phone number of the lady or not?
aha, yes.
So let's see if I'm successful in the chat business. Okay,
All
let's
right,
look.
good luck
All
with
right.
that, you guys. Now, Barry, are you there, Barry? Can we get some words from you? Let's see if Barry responds. All right, Barry.
Yeah.
There you
go. I came in late, but anyway, what I did gather from it was good though. From the point of it. One thing I did, I ran into a nun this morning and I asked her a question. I said, because it's the thing about man cannot serve two masters. Because I've been studying the Buddhist practice going for the last couple of years and stuff like that. But what I realized is like I became a Buddhist like by accident. I just went to me. By the way, you're a Buddhist. How the hell did this happen? Because I went to like 3 open meetings. They gave me kahans and all of that. But the point is that I am a gatherer of information. I love information. I studied Stoic philosophy. I studied Jehovah's Witness, Christianity, Muslim. I just gather information to make me who I am as a person. I don't like belong to any particular sect of anything, anybody. I do not conform to anything. I just like to gather information so I can help other people in their journey. And so with this Buddhist, they say you got to chant every day, twice a day. It's like, I don't do it. And I told them a couple of times, I do what works for me. I have nothing against your practice, don't get me wrong. But it's like, everybody don't come from the same cookie cutter. I'm 70 years old. I started this at 16. Come on. Where was you when I was like 15 years old? Y'all been doing it for 30 and 40 years. I'm a newcomer. Give me a break. But the bottom line, I had to accept the fact, a lot of my friends are professional friends from CEOs to therapists and everything. And they said, you underestimate. They said, but you're good at what you do. Don't question yourself anymore. They just told me this, you know what you're doing. It's not a question of being a Buddhist and not being a Christian and stuff like that. You have a host of information because you gather this information throughout time. And I'm good where I am at today. I'm good. And I talked to Tiffany for like a half an hour last week, which is good also. Yeah. But I really am good. It's like, I'm good. And I like the information I collect. And I like helping people. I will continue to do that. And as I mentioned, next week I go to meet my granddaughters for the first time. And I'm looking forward to that. So it's going to be a good thing. And what I gather is like, it's all right to be who you are. I don't have to have a label on me. I don't have to be I don't have to be a Christian. I can be myself. As long as it's for a good reason and good purpose and stuff like that. And I'm good with that. So I'm good. And
All
Napo,
right.
thank you for what I did get from you.
Thank you,
This
Barry,
is
for
Helen.
those
I'm looking in the
comments.
chat, but I don't see the phone number.
I'm sorry, you guys are just going to have to work that out somehow. Okay, so Barry, thank you for sharing that. Jen, you've been here a little bit. You came in late, but maybe you absorbed some stuff. How you doing? What's going on? And tell us how this has impacted you.
It's hard to see. It's your website.
Jen, are you there? Jen. Jen, please. Don't leave me hanging. Please, Jen.
Sounds like you're trying to do a say calling Jenny.
All right.
Excuse me, the lady said, the one from California, that I should give by mouse the phone number, so therefore I'll get the phone number that I need from the lady who talked about peer. So is that still available for me to do?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Because then I can complain if I don't get anything the next meeting. All right. So I'm kidding. 718. No, I'll give you the other one. 347 601 1091.
Can you repeat that? Oh, you got it? Oh,
347.
she got it. She got it. She got it. It's all
Okay,
right.
okay,
Thank you,
thank you.
Helen Newman. All right, Napo, it's up to you now, Napo. You take us away.
Oh, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do another prayer here. It's basically an intention, and that's all a prayer is. Really, it's just concentrating consciousness, so that way something has the potentiality to have the greatest oomph to be able to become realized. Right? And so this one is we're going to breathe in a certain particular pattern to increase our vibrational frequency. Our dominant vibrational frequency is what is creating reality to unfold before you, whether it's conscious or unconscious. Right? So what I'm going to teach you is a breathing technique called the dragon's breath, or Bakunawa. Bakunawa is the dragon mythos of Philippines. And what this will do, it will essentially take in the air, which is the life force all around you. Without this magical source of life, the body dies in 2 minutes, right? So we're going to take in this air and we're going to really feel that it is life, because it is life. And when we breathe in, we're going to squeeze it's going to sound strange, we're going to squeeze, the males are going to squeeze their sphincter, the females are going to squeeze their kegel, right? What will happen is, this is one of your chi points, where when you're breathing in, you're going to squeeze, and then when you breathe out, you're going to release that muscle. So we're going to practice that right now, real quick, okay? So breathing in for 4 seconds, breathing in, squeeze. We'll breathe out, we're going to unsqueeze. Okay. Do it one more time. Breathing in, squeeze. Breathing it out, unsqueezed. That's the first part of the dragon's breath, or Bakunawa breath. The second part is when we breathe out, we're going to put our tongue on our hard palate. Hard palate is right above your front teeth. There's an energy point there, right? Go ahead and feel that out right now with your tongue, right? When we breathe out, we're going to hiss like a dragon. So we're breathing in, squeeze, tongue on the roof of your mouth, and feel what it would be like to be a dragon, right? And this will help it. So you're breathing in, squeeze, release muscle, tongue on the roof of the mouth. Now, the metaphysics has lots of actual nuts and bolts that make perfect sense. Not just, I believe this, so it is so, right? There's a lot of fantasy stuff going on here. But it has nuts and bolts to it. So what's happening is you're breathing in the full life force of energy, of existence into you. And generally, this is just going in and out. It's ebbing and flowing like a beach. But this time what we're doing is we're trapping it in us. And then we're holding it into us, right? This energy, and it's going to make a cycle. It basically just makes an electrical circuit that traps the electricity and makes it go in a circle. What's going on here? And then, so what we're going to do is we're going to prime our auric field, or energy field, or conscious spirit, we'll call it, right? We're going to do this again now. So go ahead and go like this. And this will be more powerful now because we have done the dragon's breath. We're going to do the dragon's breath 3 times, and then we're going to make another BEEB, bioetheric energy ball prayer. Okay? So we're going to do the dragon's breath first. And always the first thing that is the most important out of all the things that I'm hopefully trying to present here is be one with source. Merge with this source. So first thing is intentionally detect this energy of source, God, whatever you want to call it, Buddha, Rasta, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, above you. Detect it. Above you. Feel its presence. And then feel this presence of force or energy of beginning and alpha, omega, all that stuff below you. Confirm, do you feel it? Yes. And then feel this force or energy, this benevolent energy around you, in your room, right now, in the room that you're in. Feel its energy, feel its presence. And then feel its presence inside you, in every part of your being. Your skin, your bone, your blood, your veins, Your molecules, your atoms feel its presence inside you. Now we're going to do the dragon's breath. So breathing in, squeeze. Release muscle, tongue on the roof of the mouth. Should already feel heat coming out of your palms. Again, dragon's breath. Breathing in, squeeze. Release muscle, tongue on the breath, on the tongue and your roof of your mouth. One more time. Breathing in, squeeze. Release muscle, tongue in the roof of your mouth. Already some bioether should be coming out between your hands. And we're going to do the light invocation again. And remember that it's about the feeling of it, right? It'll come out, whatever. But if you don't have the feeling, it won't come out as strong. So feel this benevolence, feel this loveliness, feel the presence of source within you. Uncontaminate the pure resonance of it. That is you. Right? Access your God self, your goddess self. And we're going to do the light invocation. We're going to say it 3 times. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love and light is my guide. Try to laugh when you say it. That'll help it. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love and light is my guide. And one more time. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I am a clear and perfect channel. Love, 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 and light is my God. You should feel the energy ball really pulsing now, right? Good. Now you're going to squeeze it in, make it with your intention, squeeze it in, start to form it into a ball. Right? Go snowball or a giant meatball, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so there you go, good. And then we're going to hold it like the way I'm holding mine. Do you see how I'm holding mine? Good. We're going to put it towards the camera now. Put it towards the camera. Put it towards your camera. Hold it like this. See how I'm holding mine? Put it, look at what your camera is doing. Put your hand in front of the camera. There we go, good. Closer to the camera, like how mine is, but you can't even see my face, right? There we go. And I want you to feel this. I'm going to push mine, and you guys should be able to feel it, because time and space actually doesn't exist. So I want you to feel it. Can you guys confirm, just nodding your head, can you feel something going in and out? Like I can feel your guys pushing it, right? Can you confirm this? Is it a confirmation? Right. So we can, literally we're transcending time and space, because really that's an illusion and we've constructed it to be this thing. Good. So now that our collective energy ball is together, we're going to make a prayer for ourselves, right? For the world. And right now in this energy ball collectively in front of us, we're just going to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And when you say thank you, really feel it. Okay. Good. And inside this energy ball, we're going to see the world the way you see it. And I want you to just see the world, just people sighing, going, oh, thank goodness, everything's fine, everything's okay. I want you to see children laughing. I want you to see people drinking clean water. I want you to see people harvesting clean, healthy food. See all these things. Put it in there. Imagine it. Create it. Mentally image it. Just a world where people may be holding hands, loving each other. I want you to especially put clean water into it. Right? Yeah. And this is our blessing collectively for this world that we're in. So we're going to hold it again from the bottom. Holding it again from the bottom. And on the count of 3, we're going to throw it up and we're going to command it. Seek your purpose, Godspeed. Ready? We're going to throw it up in the air. We're going to clap our hands to release it. And we're going to say, seek your purpose, Godspeed. 1, 2, 3, throw it up in the air. Seek your purpose, Godspeed. Good. Now, hopefully everybody felt that enough to be able to give your part of the blessing, because no one is more powerful here, because there's only one of us here. Right? And collectively we incorporate our consciousness, and this will create the reality in our potentiality stream, our individual potentiality stream, for us to notice it in the world, right? Hopefully that has helped you out. If you guys need some help from me, you can reach me on Napo Shaman on Facebook, and then if you need a session or some other help or guidance in some sort of kind of way. And also, if you would like some meditations that I create that has to do with energy balls and the metaphysics of the nature of reality, go ahead and friend me on the Facebook, and then generally I'll work from there, because I'm 50. So I need to be on that, because that's where the old people are, or whatever it is, right?
Thank you, Napo, for a really enlightening session with you. And I appreciate your time and your enthusiasm and your energy and your words and the imagination and everything. Next week, everyone, we will have John Otiembo from Kenya, a peer from Kenya, joining us to speak about his personal spiritual journey. I hope you join us for that. And Napo sent me some videos that he spoke about briefly here that I'll send to everyone on our list. If you're not on our list, get on our list. And and like Napo said, if you want to contact Napo on Facebook, it's Napo Shaman on Facebook. Very simple. And I hope you all educate yourself about Filipino shamanism. And thank you once again, Napo. How do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel
Yeah.
great. I feel, thank you for allowing me to serve my purpose, because really that's all I'm really here to do, and anytime I get to express it, I mean, obviously an old tongue loves to wag, but anytime I get to express it and add just a little bit more joy or love or light to the world that I'm in, then I feel like I'm helping create the savage garden to be less savage. Yeah.